Hey, this is Troy from Planet 76. We've got some really good Sixers-focused content coming your way today. Make sure you subscribe to the pod so you can be in the know when we release new content. Enjoy the show. All right, what's going on, Sixers fans? Another episode of Planet 76. I'm one of your hosts, Troy. I just wanted to get a quick episode out regarding the Sixers 79-73 win at the Garden over the Knicks. Yes, you heard that right. 79-73. This is episode 136 of the podcast. And just, again, real quick episode, kind of just breaking down this one because it is such a unique game. Did have a couple numbers I wanted to give you, regarding how unique this game is. So this is the first time in 8 years that a game has ended with both teams scoring below 80 points. So I know we set the clocks to go forward last night, but obviously we've turned back the clock a little bit with this game, a few decades, because again, a 79-73 game is pretty wild. You don't see that often. That's the fewest points the Sixers have allowed in a game in 7 years. So a crazy one, but a win is a win. And while the offense certainly wasn't pretty in this one, Sixers did force a lot of turnovers. I think 19 turnovers for the Knicks, which was a major storyline in this one. Sixers were again without, of course, Joel Embiid. Of course, Tyrese Maxey still out, although he might be back sooner rather than later. And then no DeAnthony Melton, another starter that seems to be an afterthought at times because of the two names that I just mentioned. But DeAnthony Melton's a key piece of this team that's been out for considerable time now. But again, Sixers still able to get the job done. I'll throw some numbers at you real quick. Kelly Oubre led the way with 18 points, 10 rebounds. He did shoot just 6 for 19. But he healed his first game off the bench as a Sixer, and he played very well. 6 of 9, 4 of 6 from 3, 7 boards, 3 assists, and 16 points. So he might stay in that role off the bench for the Sixers. Paul Reed finished with 13 points, 7 rebounds. Tobias Harris, 11 points on 5 of 14, 0 of 4 from 3, but he did collect 12 rebounds in this one. Kyle Lowry made a big shot late, had 8 points, 3 assists, 2 boards. 3 of 8. I do have a funny stat for Kyle Lowry. So Kyle Lowry, saw this on Twitter. Kyle Lowry is now the Sixers season leader in total charges drawn this season, and this has just been his 8th game of the season with the Sixers. So he already leads the team in charges taken, and he's been a pretty important piece for the Sixers as they're again continuing to weather the storm. I just mentioned the two guards that are out, and without Maxey, without DeAnthony Melton on the floor, someone's got to step up. And sometimes it's scoring, sometimes it's dishing, sometimes it's taking a charge. And Cam Payne has done the same at times. He's played well, and so those guys have played well. Kelly Oubre obviously has stepped up in the scoring department in the absence of those guys. But this is, though, a big win. Where I want to end this episode off is Sixers have back-to-back with New York, right? So Sunday night, they get the win. They inch closer to the Knicks in the standings. And now Tuesday, they're running it back, right? Tuesday at the Garden again, against the Knicks, and so an opportunity to win 2 in a row and actually be tied with them in the standings if they're able to get that done. So right now they sit at a game back of the Knicks, who are in the 4th seed, and seeds 4 through 8. It's just a logjam, is what it is. So you have the Knicks 37-27, the Orlando Magic 37-28. The Sixers now move up to 6 at 36-28. The Indiana Pacers at 36-29, and the Miami Heat at 35-29. So those 5 teams are all within 2 games of each other, and that's really, really pivotal because 2 of those 5 teams obviously are going to find themselves in the play-in tournament. If the playoffs were to start today, that would be the Indiana Pacers and the Miami Heat at the 7 and 8 seed. And so 3 of those 5 teams are going to find themselves not in the play-in, and 2 of them are going to find themselves in the play-in. So any matchup you have with another team in that logjam of five, especially like the Sixers have with the Knicks, is very, very important. It would be very cool, very nice to see them come out and do it again on Tuesday. There might be a few more points scored. I'm just going to tell you that. 79-73 is pretty insane, like I've been saying. But um, yeah, Sixers again do enough to get the job done. Wasn't pretty, but they get the job done, and now improve. Now where they sit as of right now on Sunday night at 10:13 p.m. The Sixers are now the sixth seed in the Eastern Conference, and we've discussed on the podcast why that's so important. Not only are 7 and 8 finding themselves in the play-in, but if you end up with an 8 seed, you know what your prize is in the first round, and that's a date with the 49-14 Boston Celtics. No one really wants that. And so even you look at the potentials of the fourth and fifth seeds, which two of these teams that I just mentioned are going to find themselves in a second round matchup. If you win your first round, is likely going to be with the Boston Celtics, and so. As weird as it kind of is to say, when Michael and I discussed this that last week, like the sixth seed is kind of appealing because you might be able to get the Cleveland Cavaliers and avoid the Boston Celtics, and then maybe get the Bucks in the second round. Now again, we're obviously getting way too far ahead, way too down the road. What's important is Joel Embiid's health, Tyrese Maxey's health, getting them ready for whoever your matchup is in the playoffs. As long as those guys are healthy, um, you're just going to be happy to be there, kind of, because the Sixers have had a rough stretch. This win for the Sixers does end again a rough losing skid that they were on. Last Sunday they won in Dallas and then dropped one to the Nets, the Grizzlies, and the Pelicans this week. So went 0-3 throughout the week. Went back on the road for the weekend. Again, another Sunday night win against the Knicks on the road. So you're going to take that 10 times out of 10 and just hope you can do it again on Tuesday. And Michael and I are definitely going to record following that one to kind of just piece both of these games together against the Knicks. Hopefully, we're talking about two Sixers wins and how they're tied with the Knicks in the Eastern Conference standings. But if not, we're going to keep chugging along. And again, I just said it, but these five teams that find themselves in the thick of it in the Eastern Conference for seeds 4 through 8, those are the matchups. Those are the games to keep an eye on. So we'll see how it all shakes out, and we'll see you in just a couple days as we break down the second Knicks game coming up on Tuesday for episode 136. This one, we'll see you next time.